In this video, we make comparisons between different concepts including hidden curriculum, cultural capital, and power, which have had influences on our schooling experiences. The broader social issues become evident in our contrasting experiences, highlighting the impact these have had on our development, while relating our experiences to understanding Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders' cultural differences. One of the key concepts is hidden curriculum, which is defined as unwritten, unofficial, and often unintended lessons, values, and perspectives that students learn in school. It is known as being hidden due to it being unacknowledged or unexamined by students and the community.
The hidden curriculum promoted the importance of acceptance and respect for all students. During my schooling experience, each student was encouraged to understand one another and never questioned each other for who they were, but rather attempted to ensure that everyone felt included and comfortable within their own skin. Teachers and educators would go above and beyond to enforce the importance of equality and acceptance for all. Everyone felt included, regardless of a student's gender or sexual orientation, and was made to feel welcome within the learning environment. The hidden curriculum taught within the college ensured that a minority was a part of the majority, and students therefore reacted naturally and embraced their peers, regardless of their differences. There was no change in behaviour due to this, as every student was naturally made to feel comfortable.
I personally felt the impact of the hidden curriculum within my high school environment, as I was instantly made to feel comfortable regardless of any of my differences. This allowed me to understand the broader concept that it is okay to be different and that everyone is different in their own ways. The theory of behaviourism links with the approach utilised within the school in order to embed positive values into students. Teachers operantly conditioned students to understand that if they respected one another, they were taking the correct approach and that they would feel rewarded within themselves. Students reacted positively, and the hidden curriculum was adopted and modelled within the school. The hidden curriculum delivered links directly to AITSL Standard 1.5, as each teacher inferred the importance of inclusion through their teaching. Although they never specifically spoke or discussed the matter, the school as a whole was aware of the importance of respect and acceptance through the morals and values we had grasped within our classrooms.
Cultural capital. The knowledge, skills, dispositions, and social tastes that provide access to social power. Cultural capital strongly influences education and opportunity.
Growing up, my parents were hard-working middle-class citizens, both with deep family history connections to the small coastal town where I lived. They were both able to establish a strong social capital within the community, and because of this, my education and cultural capital associated with my education was positively influenced. Through social mobility, I was able to obtain certain advantages and gain connections with people that other students may not have had. Due to my parents' involvement with the community and school environment, I felt a strong sense of belonging during my time at primary school. This experience can also be tied to the concept of hidden curriculum. The side effect of my positive experience and close relationship I had with my teachers throughout my time at primary school gave me a sense that everyone had a close interconnected relationship with their school community, where that may not have been the case.
I was very much a part of a minority in my school, being one of the few ethnic students. I always put in an effort to adapt the culture and guidelines of my school, however, it was always a struggle to be fully taken in. As a product of this, my social capital was greatly challenged on account of my lack of blending in. These two, hand in hand, ultimately strained my educational experience and made it difficult for me to progress socially and culturally. I think it shows how big an impact a lack of intercultural understanding can have on a child's identity and schooling.
Cultural capital can have a major impact on a student's education and comes with various limitations. Cultural capital can box people in and set up a predetermined lifestyle for them. It assumes that an individual with a low-valued capital won't excel as far as those like Jake. It rules out individuals that work beyond their capital. In addition, Jake and I both journeyed through school with different virtual school bags. While Jake's housed a large array of social assets, mine held more academic assets than social. AITSL Standard 1.3 addresses the ability to personalize teaching strategies to accommodate for strengths or needs of students based on their culture, religion, and socioeconomic backgrounds. In both Jake and my cases, teachers had many opportunities to accommodate for any cultural needs or social-cultural gap between classmates. This puts into perspective the emphasis that there is on intercultural understanding and a need for it in our society, especially in our education systems.
Power is a socially constructed concept based on the relationship between people and place. Likewise, power, in an educational setting, is constructed by society in which the institution is rooted.
In Christina and my own experience, our schooling environment dictated the power systems we were subject to. The attitudes of the school and individuals of the community determined the formation of the social hierarchy and power structures. It is evident in my experience that wealth played a major role in the school's class system. The more wealthy the student appeared, the more popular they became, and more power they had among their peers. As stated by Thomas, the best advice we can give a poor child keen to get ahead in education is to choose richer parents. Not only is this a reflection on material wealth bringing success in schools, but creates an understanding of the social class determining the opportunities presented to students.
In my own experience, the hierarchical structure of intelligence in schools placed me on a proverbial platform of social advantage, hence provided greater power. Advanced students were considered upper-class members with access to further academic opportunities and all from peers. The limitations of power structures and class systems in our educational experience are reflected in the inequality of opportunity. In Keira's situation, an imbalance of social advantage resulted in exclusion. This was evident in social activities such as parties and playground games. In my experience, the power of knowledge is reflected in academic opportunity. Advanced students received further education, leaving the average student without advancement of their intellectual development. Lynch discussed that existing power relations within schools impair students' capacity to develop as persons. This is apparent in both Keira's and my own experiences. The influence of social factors and items brought in an individual's virtual school bag impacted on individual experiences of education. Wealth and intelligence were drivers for further academic and sporting opportunities. For Keira, students with sporting abilities were invited to participate in further sporting activities and training, hence enhancing their physical development and social interaction among teammates. My inclusion in extension groups in schools allowed for my participation in academic competitions and individualised attention from another teacher. These opportunities and individualised teaching presented new challenges, enriching my intellectual development, yet influenced how my peers viewed me, straining social interactions.
Our educational experiences, which developed our understanding of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, were vastly different, impacting our cultural awareness. My experience of meeting people from an Indigenous background in a school setting allowed me to develop a respect for Aboriginal peoples. Contrastingly, in Christina's school, she learnt about the Indigenous culture through a textbook rather than a personal experience. In this way, Christina and her classmates were dissociated from the people and their values in their culture. Our experiences gave us insight into the inequality of opportunities, both in regards to class and power within Australian society.
During my time in primary school, the cultural awareness of traditional Indigenous landowners, while not a strong focus within the school curriculum, was still acknowledged and recognised within the school environment, because during this time we were lucky enough to have an Aboriginal family attending. Taking advantage of their knowledge and history and compared to other schools in the area, my primary school was able to utilise and embrace the cultural awareness and specific parts of the Indigenous culture. As well as obtaining a personal connection with the family, these experiences gave me a closer sense of attachment to the social issue of Indigenous representation within society, and the social capital that is connected. I believe not having this experience, my connection and respect for the cultural awareness of Indigenous Australians would not have been as prevalent. Understanding the limitation and representation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders is key to avoiding further misrepresentation which can promote false ideas that can potentially compound young students' ignorance and the complexity of past and present Indigenous communities. Understanding the comparisons between these experiences and broader social issues is important because as educators, we need to acknowledge ATL Standard 1.4, which demonstrates the broad knowledge and understanding of the impact of culture, cultural identity, and linguistic background of the education of students from Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities.
It is evident that hidden curriculum, cultural capital, and power all have a large impact upon each individual student's learning experience. Although no two experiences are alike, all experiences link to one or more of these concepts, proving their importance within schooling and the curriculum. It is also important to understand Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. All of these concepts have played a vital role within our development and have helped to mould us into the individuals we are today.